So, the Mario franchise is one of Nintendo's biggest selling franchises, and within the Mario series, there are obviously many different sub franchises, like Mario Kart, like Mario and Luigi. Like, I would argue Donkey Kong as well is technically part of the Mario franchise because obviously Donkey Kong was the original game, and obviously Mario spawned from Donkey Kong. But I think the most interesting franchise within the within the whole Mario franchise overall is actually Luigi's Mansion. Now, there's actually a reason for this, and I think a lot of people may not realize it until they watch this video. But Luigi's Mansion is arguably Nintendo's version of a horror game, and it's Nintendo's way of trying to appeal to a demographic that they've had a hard time appealing to over the decades, but also trying to keep it family friendly so they can actually keep people invested in their brands and that, because Nintendo's always had a hard time with making mature rated games. Like they only started doing them with the GameCube, really, because I know people would say, oh, Conker's Bad Fur Day, but that was technically a rare game on N64. But Luigi's Mansion, I think it's the best of both worlds in a lot of ways, where it's a game with a notable character. Everyone knows Luigi. Everyone knows the story of Luigi's Mansion. Basically, Luigi goes to an old mansion that Mario's been kidnapped or whatever, and he's got to try and save him. And it's basically a fun little take on the sort of Ghostbusters formula as well as a horror formula, where you have Luigi wandering around a mansion, busting ghosts, and he's just trying to progress, and he's trying to save his brother. It's honestly quite an interesting concept, and it's quite interesting that this has become one of Nintendo's most interesting series, in my opinion, because, well, it makes sense, and it also can lead to Nintendo doing more paranormal stuff. They can obviously bring in other creatures like vampires and if they wanted to. And there's a lot of expansion that they can do with this series. Now, currently, there are only 3 games in the series. I don't count remasters and remakes as new games. So, to me, there are only three Luigi's Mansion games, as well as obviously some ports for like the 3DS for the original game, and the Switch with obviously Luigi's Mansion 2. But I feel like this is potentially going to be one of Nintendo's more interesting franchises going forward. I think that they will continue to make games in the series. This game seems to sell out quite well. I know Luigi's Mansion 2 HD had a few issues when it comes to sales. It wasn't selling as well, but obviously they had quite a packed slate at that time, and I'm pretty sure they'd only just put out like Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door remastered. So I'm not surprised that Luigi's Mansion 2 HD probably didn't do that well, but Luigi's Mansion 3, from what I understand, has done quite well. The original 2 games did quite well as well. And it fits a nice little slot within Nintendo's franchises where nothing else really can hit that slot. Because Nintendo doesn't really have many horror franchises. I think they've got like a few obscure GameCube games that they've made that were horror games, and they failed, and then obviously they never really touched again. So I feel like Luigi's Mansion is their best way of doing a horror game, as well as keeping it family friendly and being basically like baby's first horror, So they can basically go, hey, this is Luigi's Mansion. It's a family friendly ghost busting game, and then those kids who play Luigi's Mansion can then grow up and start playing games like Resident Evil 4. Obviously later on, when they get a bit older, when they can actually stomach what they're seeing in this game. Now, if you guys like Luigi's Mansion, let me know in the comments. I've only got the 3rd game, and I've only played a bit of the first game at a friend's house. So I'm trying to get them all so I can play through all of them. But I do think that Luigi's Mansion is definitely one of Nintendo's more interesting series, especially in concept and execution. And I kind of hope that we see this franchise continue, because I'll be honest, I kind of feel like it deserves to. It deserves to keep getting pushed more and more, because it's an interesting idea and it's an interesting concept, and it's a nice bit of diversity within the Mario franchise. It's not a traditional RPG, sports game, or a platformer, so it's quite a nice bit of variety as well. And guys, if you're new, make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment, turn on notifications. I've been EC, and I'm signing out. Peace.